Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of hindering or obstructing or impeding. Electrical or acoustic activity that can disturb communication. A policy of intervening in the affairs of other countries. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. American football. Blocking a player's path with your body. He ran interference for the quarterback. The act of hindering or obstructing or impeding. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. The act of hindering or obstructing or impeding. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. A noisy fight. A disorderly outburst or tumult. They were amazed by the furious disturbance they had caused. Electrical or acoustic activity that can disturb communication. Psychiatry. A psychological disorder of thought or emotion. A more neutral term than mental illness. Activity that is a malfunction, intrusion, or interruption. He looked around for the source of the disturbance. An unhappy and worried mental state. There was too much anger and disturbance. The act of disturbing something or someone. Setting something in motion. The auditory experience of sound that lacks musical quality. Sound that is a disagreeable auditory experience. Modern music is just noise to me. Electrical or acoustic activity that can disturb communication. The quality of lacking any predictable order or plan. Emit a noise. A loud outcry of protest or complaint. The announcement of the election recount caused a lot of noise. Incomprehensibility resulting from irrelevant information or meaningless facts or remarks. All the noise in his speech concealed the fact that he didn't have anything to say. Sound of any kind, especially unintelligible or dissonant sound. He enjoyed the street noises. The act or fact of interposing one thing between or among others. A policy of intervening in the affairs of other countries. Care provided to improve a situation, especially medical procedures or applications that are intended to relieve illness or injury. The act of intervening, as to mediate a dispute, etc. It occurs without human intervention. Law. A proceeding that permits a person to enter into a lawsuit already in progress. Admission of person not an original party to the suit so that person can protect some right or interest that is allegedly affected by the proceedings. The purpose of intervention is to prevent unnecessary duplication of lawsuits. A charge against property, as a lien or mortgage. An onerous or difficult concern. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. A period of time spent in military service. An unforeseen obstacle. The state of inactivity following an interruption. To hook or entangle. The uneven manner of walking that results from an injured leg. Walk impeded by some physical limitation or injury. Jump vertically, with legs stiff and back arched. Travel by getting free rides from motorists. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. A connection between a vehicle and the load that it pulls. A knot that can be undone by pulling against the strain that holds it, a temporary knot. Connect to a vehicle. Hitch the trailer to the car. A charge against property, as a lien or mortgage. An onerous or difficult concern. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. An agent or device intended to prevent conception. Remedy that prevents or slows the course of an illness or disease. The doctor recommended several preventatives. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. Preventing or contributing to the prevention of disease. Tending to prevent or hinder. An agent or device intended to prevent conception. Remedy that prevents or slows the course of an illness or disease. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. Preventing or contributing to the prevention of disease. Preventive medicine. Tending to prevent or hinder. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document signed and sealed and delivered to effect a transfer of property and to show the legal right to possess it. He signed the deed. Something that people do or cause to happen. Something that people do or cause to happen. A source of difficulty. One trouble after another delayed the job. Cause bodily suffering to and make sick or indisposed. Disturb in mind or make uneasy or cause to be worried or alarmed. Move deeply. Take the trouble to do something, concern oneself. He did not trouble to call his mother on her birthday. To cause inconvenience or discomfort to. Sorry to trouble you, but. An effort that is inconvenient. I went to a lot of trouble. A strong feeling of anxiety. He wanted to die and end his troubles. An angry disturbance. They had labor trouble. An event causing distress or pain. What is the trouble? An unwanted pregnancy. He got several girls in trouble. A policy governing international relations. Any structure that makes progress difficult. The baggage and equipment carried by an army. Any structure that makes progress difficult. Someone who systematically obstructs some action that others want to take. Any structure that makes progress difficult. Something immaterial that stands in the way and must be circumvented or surmounted. The filibuster was a major obstruction to the success of their plan. The physical condition of blocking or filling a passage with an obstruction. Getting in someone's way. The act of obstructing. Obstruction of justice. Any structure that makes progress difficult. Someone who systematically obstructs some action that others want to take. Any structure that makes progress difficult. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. The act of obstructing or deflecting someone's movements. An obstruction in a pipe or tube. We had to call a plumber to clear out the blockage in the drainpipe. The act of obstructing or deflecting someone's movements. A platform from which an auctioneer sells. They put their paintings on the block. A three-dimensional shape with 6 square or rectangular sides. Prohibit the conversion or use of assets. An inability to remember or think of something you normally can do, often caused by emotional tension. I knew his name perfectly well, but I had a temporary block. Stop from happening or developing. Be unable to remember. You are blocking the name of your first wife. Block passage through. A simple machine consisting of a wheel with a groove in which a rope can run to change the direction or point of application of a force applied to the rope. Render unsuitable for passage. Block the way. Shut out from view or get in the way so as to hide from sight. The thick curtain blocked the action on the stage. Interfere with or prevent the reception of signals. Block the signals emitted by this station. Obstruct. Her arteries are blocked. A metal casting containing the cylinders and cooling ducts of an engine. The engine had to be replaced because the block was cracked. A rectangular area in a city surrounded by streets and usually containing several buildings. He lives in the next block. Impede the movement of an opponent or a ball. Block an attack. Hinder or prevent the progress or accomplishment of. His brother blocked him at every turn. A number or quantity of related things dealt with as a unit. He reserved a large block of seats. A solid piece of something, usually having flat rectangular sides. The pyramids were built with large stone blocks. Computer science, a sector or group of sectors that function as the smallest data unit permitted. Since blocks are often defined as a single sector, the terms block and sector are sometimes used interchangeably. Housing in a large building that is divided into separate units. There is a block of classrooms in the West Wing. Interrupt the normal function of by means of anesthesia. Block a nerve. Run on a block system. Block trains. Shape by using a block. Block a garment. Shape into a block or blocks. Block the graphs so one can see the results clearly. Stamp or emboss a title or design on a book with a block. Block the book cover. Support, secure, or raise with a block. Block a plate for printing. An act of hindering someone's plans or efforts. The feeling that accompanies an experience of being thwarted in attaining your goals. A feeling of annoyance at being hindered or criticized. Her constant complaints were the main source of his frustration. The act of preventing. Money was allocated to study the cause and prevention of influenza. An act of hindering someone's plans or efforts. A communication that makes you afraid to try something. A negative motivational influence. The act or process of discouraging actions or preventing occurrences by instilling fear or doubt or anxiety. Preventing realization or attainment of a desire. An act of hindering someone's plans or efforts. A development that complicates a situation. Puzzling complexity. Any disease or disorder that occurs during the course of, or because of, another disease. Bed sores are a common complication in cases of paralysis. A situation or condition that is complex or confused. Her coming was a serious complication. The act or process of complicating. A portable .30 caliber automatic rifle operated by gas pressure and fed by cartridges from a magazine, used by United States troops in World War I and in World War II and in the Korean War. The body of individuals qualified to practice law in a particular jurisdiction. He was admitted to the bar in New Jersey. Prevent from entering. Keep out. He was barred from membership in the club. Render unsuitable for passage. Barricade the streets. The act of preventing. There was no bar against leaving. A block of solid substance, such as soap or wax. A bar of chocolate. Expel, as if by official decree. Musical notation for a repeating pattern of musical beats. The orchestra omitted the last 12 bars of the song. A narrow marking of a different color or texture from the background. A green toad with small black stripes or bars. A room or establishment where alcoholic drinks are served over a counter. He drowned his sorrows in whiskey at the bar. A counter where you can obtain food or drink. He bought a hot dog and a Coke at the bar. A heating element in an electric fire. An electric fire with 3 bars. A horizontal rod that serves as a support for gymnasts as they perform exercises. An obstruction, usually metal, placed at the top of a goal. It was an excellent kick but the ball hit the bar. A rigid piece of metal or wood, usually used as a fastening or obstruction or weapon. There were bars in the windows to prevent escape. A submerged, or partly submerged, ridge in a river or along a shore. The boat ran aground on a submerged bar in the river. Law. A railing that encloses the part of the courtroom where the judges and lawyers sit and the case is tried. Spectators were not allowed past the bar. Meteorology. A unit of pressure equal to 1,000,000 dynes per square centimeter. Unfortunately, some writers have used bar for 1 dyne per square centimeter. Secure with, or as if with, bars. He barred the door.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.